When Korah, Nathan, and Abiram violated Moses, he said, except I'm not a man of God. He said, the earth will open his mouth and swallow you. He didn't pray. He made a decree. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them. In fact, before he did that, he told them, oh God. Sometimes when I study the life of the patriarchs, I tell myself, have we started Christianity? Because they knew secrets that we don't know today. It was that realm that Moses entered on Sinai when he descended. The Bible says his face began to shine. That was when Moses stopped being a mortal. Because when Paul came to define who Moses was, in 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 5, he called Moses the law. He said when Moses is read. So when you read Genesis, Leviticus, you are reading Moses. Moses was no longer a mortal. And in the realm of glory, he couldn't die. At 120, he said his sight was not dim, neither was his strength abated. In fact, God had to devise a technology of killing Moses. That was why Moses died in secret. Because he entered a suspended reality. His molecular structure was altered by glory. At that realm, when Moses talks, he's a God. But the problem with that realm is that if you sin, you can't be forgiven. God can remove the iniquity from you, but you will face the penalty. And when Moses violated God, he says, speak to the rock. And Moses did not know that at this level, he was doing business among gods. Because the rock he said he should speak to was Christ. Because God had brought him. You know, the Bible said in Isaiah 53 that he pleased God to bruise him. So what God did was that instead of bruising Jesus, he gave Moses the right to do it. Now we have brought you to the realm of gods. Participate in the economy of the immortals. Bruise the Christ, but only use words. And Moses showed up and said the Israelite offended him and he struck the rock. Ah, you have erred. You don't know that the rock that traveled with you in the wilderness is not a stone, he's Christ. And because you have erred, you can't be forgiven. And so when they were about to enter the promised land, he told Moses, go and bless the children of Israel. You will see it, but you won't enter. And when Moses wanted to pray, he said, don't pray to me. Because if you pray, your judgment will be worse. It will provoke anger. So don't pray. You have come into the company of immortals and you don't know that the code of conduct here is righteousness. You don't sin here, we will kill you. And when Moses went down, that was all the secrets Moses had. He didn't say them. He kept them in his belly because he wanted to enter the promised land with him. But when he discovered he won't make it to the promised land, he stood like a god and he began to talk the destiny of Israel. And one of the things he saw, he said, I saw the Lord descending from Mount Paran. And I saw the Holy One. He was saying things that will happen in the battle of Armageddon. Because Moses had journeyed out of time to the end of time. So he knew the beginning. It's the same Moses that said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Because when he entered the league of God, they showed him those things, the secrets of the earth. Where God stood when he said, light appear. Moses saw it. He was no longer immortal. Did you not read about Paul? He said, I know a man many years ago. Whether he was in the body or in the flesh, I can't tell. He said that man was carried to the third heaven. And he said the man was carried to paradise. And he saw things that were unlawful to be uttered among men. And the question I ask is, if those things are unlawful to be uttered among men, how did you hear it? That means the realm he entered, he was no longer immortal. He had become an immortal being, because the word immortal means without corruption. So you can't allow iniquity enter you anymore. And so when God judged Moses, he came and spoke to Israel. It was Moses that wrote the foundation of that civilization. He taught them secrets. He knew so much about God. When God's anger fell upon Israel, and in one day 23,000 people died, Moses told Aaron, quickly take the golden censer and run and stand between the people and God. When he sees the incense, he will stop. He knew what to do to restrain God. That was the level of secret that the man entered. Stand between the people, no matter how angry he is, when he sees the incense, because the prayers of the saints, he said, they are sent to heaven as odors, and they are stored in golden vials. Those are fragrances. So when God perceived those fragrances, his anger will dissipate. And that was how Moses saved Israel. A whole tribe would have been swallowed up. He knew the secrets of Abba. In fact, in Exodus 32, when God was angry, he said, these are stiff-necked people. I will destroy them and start a new generation with you. He said, far be it from you. He said, repent of these things. How do you want the nations to hear? Is that a man talking? It's the realm of laws. When you perfect holiness, when you perfect righteousness, then the powers of the ages to come, they are committed to you. At that level, your words are no longer for communication. Even your utterances will be withdrawn. Because when you speak, beyond communication, you will create. Because there was a place God stood and said, let the heavens and the earth appear. It's a realm. It's the realm of righteousness, where men stand as God stands.